We can't always control exactly how much money we make. That's why it's absolutely crucial to get the most bang for your bucks these days. With inflation showing no signs of slowing down, the costs of goods have skyrocketed. Meanwhile, most companies haven't changed their wages a bit to keep up with increasing costs. It can be tough to make ends meet on a low-income salary, especially in times like this. So in this video, I'm going to share 7 steps that you can take to get the most out of your paychecks and beat the recession. Let's get into it. Step number 1, create a budget. Creating a budget allows you to track your expenses and see exactly where your money's going. This can help you identify any problem areas or just some areas that could be tightened up. Are you spending too much money eating out? Do you have too many subscriptions you don't use? Tracking things like this will open your eyes to the small leaks you have in your budget. It can't be understated just how important tracking everything really is. Turning a blind eye to your finances could be disastrous in the long run. After you have a good handle on just where all of your money is going, you can allocate some disposable income for things like emergencies or future savings plans. Step number 2, cut expenses. Now that you've got a clearer picture on where all your hard-earned money's going, it's time to take a look to see if there are any obvious cuts you can make. Are there any subscriptions you absolutely do not use? Cancel these immediately. I personally had a friend who was paying for a storage container for months after they moved because they forgot to cancel the plan. This is just complete ignorance and can save you hundreds, if not thousands, per year. Canceling plans you don't use is a clear way of lowering expenses, but what are some other ways you can cut back? The biggest areas of opportunity for savings are always going to be your biggest expenses. This includes your rent, your car payments, any insurance, and of course, food. It may be hard to reduce any big payments like these, but you should absolutely look into it. If you can downgrade to a smaller, more affordable car, you could save hundreds. If you were able to find a roommate to subsidize your rent, you could save thousands. You won't know until you do some research, but making an attempt to lower your expenses is crucial if you want to make ends meet week in and week out and live on a low income. If you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a like. It really helps us out a ton. Step number 3, increase your income. Steps number 1 and 2 have already given you a huge advantage. You've mapped out just how much money you need to get by, and you've made some attempts to lower that amount. Now it's time to try to widen that gap in the other direction by increasing our income. This could be done in many ways. If you have a job, you could use the inflation and price hikes to your advantage when negotiating a raise. Employers should be inclined to give their employees quality living wages, and with prices skyrocketing this year, I believe it's only fair to compensate people accordingly. You could also test the job market if you feel like you're not being compensated in direct correlation to the value you produce. Other ways of increasing your income can include starting a side hustle or making an investment in the stock market. Side hustles can add a tremendous amount to your bottom line at the end of the year, but they do require a lot of work. Stocks and dividends, on the other hand, can provide an income boost with little to no attention required. It really depends on your personal situation when depending on which option is right for you. Step number 4, seek assistance. There's absolutely nothing wrong with reaching out for some help. That's exactly what these systems were set up for, to help our communities and in turn our society as a whole. If you're struggling to make ends meet on a low income, you may be eligible for assistance programs like food stamps, housing benefits, and childcare help. Do your research and find out what can often be a neglected option due to things like pride and ego. But I urge you to think of your family when making this decision. Also, keep in mind that it's not permanent, and you will always have the opportunity to give back yourself when you're back on your feet. If you haven't already, don't forget to click subscribe so you don't miss out on more helpful videos like this. Step number 5, build an emergency fund. Everyone has had one of those situations where it seems like life is going just a little too smooth lately, and the universe decides to throw you a curveball. It could be in the form of car maintenance, a dental issue, or even something far worse. At times, it may feel like we're just extremely unlucky. But it's important to remember that emergencies do happen. Not having an emergency fund when things like this happen really magnifies the problem. Now that you've taken plenty of steps to take charge of your financial situation, You should have a little bit of extra cash after each paycheck. It would be really wise at this point to take that cash and start an emergency fund. Let me tell you, there's nothing that helps you sleep better than knowing your mattress isn't the only cushion you have providing support. Setting targets and being consistent is the key to creating a much-needed buffer between you and financial disaster. Step number 6, pay off debt. High-interest debt is probably the number one threat to whether or not you can make ends meet week in and week out. This debt should be taken care of before making any investments or frivolous purchases. High-interest debt can quickly spiral out of control, so getting on top of this as quickly as possible is crucial. Researching a method such as the avalanche method is a surefire way to give you a head start on curbing that debt problem. In the book, Get the Hell Out of Debt, Aaron Sky Kelly talks about giving your money a purpose. It really opened my eyes and got me thinking about what I had to do to earn my money, and spending it on meaningless things was wasting my precious time. Step number 7, financial education. All of the most successful people in the world have one thing in common. They are constantly inhaling information, whether it be in the form of books, online classes, or YouTube videos such as this one. The wealthy are constantly learning. Increasing your financial IQ will make it much easier to make difficult decisions when the time comes. It will also open your eyes to some money-making opportunities that you were previously unaware of. With sites like Skillshare, it's never been easier to increase your value and educate yourself online. They have every type of financial class you could possibly dream of, with qualified and entertaining teachers. I'd like to ask you to join me in a 30-day challenge to see how many classes we can complete. I'm willing to bet you can finish at least 3. Just click the link in the bio to sign up for your free 30-day trial. Step number 8, be grateful. When you're living on a low income, it can be easy to fixate your attention on what you don't have, as opposed to being grateful for what you do. Practicing gratitude can help you find joy and happiness in the things you currently have. Take the time each day to express to yourself just how grateful you are for the things in your life, no matter how small. Some people would die for your situation, and it's important to remember that. Gratitude brings perspective, and perspective brings positivity and enlightenment. Every morning when I wake up, I'm reminded just how lucky I am when I wake up to my dogs and my loving family. What are the top 3 things that you're most grateful for? Let me know in the comments below. Step number 9, find support. Low-income living can be extremely stressful. Waiting on that next paycheck can feel daunting at times and can no doubt lead to anxiety and depression. That's why it's important to find support from friends, family, or even a specialized support group. Even the toughest of minds have bad days, and it's crucial to have people that are going to pick you up when you're down. Surrounding yourself with positive, loving people sounds easy on paper, but it can be difficult identifying who those people are. It can be even more difficult identifying who the negative people are, but it's imperative that you do. Constantly reminding yourself of your values and your overall goals in life is a great way to stay centered and determine whether people are good for you or not. Step number 10, stay positive and stay the course. Trusting the process may be a cakewalk one day and a marathon in the desert the next. If you're anything like me, then your ambition may be pulling your goals in all sorts of different directions. I often find that when I tweak my goals less frequently, I have a much higher probability of achieving them. This may sound obvious, but on a day-to-day basis, you may be tempted to change your plan when you're not getting the immediate results you're after. This is natural, as we do live in a results-based society, but that's why it's important to be able to take a step back, give yourself some clarity, and remember why you laid out this plan in the first place. Remember the end goal that you reverse-engineered and why it is you want to hit that mark. Transforming your life doesn't happen overnight. It can take weeks, even months in some cases, before you start to notice a significant difference. But I'm sure that applying some of these smart money tactics to your financial situation in 2023 will change your life for the better. Building good habits is just as important as avoiding negative ones. But being able to do either starts with educating yourself first. You've already shown that you care enough about your finances that you're willing to do something about it. So I have no doubt that you'll use these tips wisely to learn how to save money with low income. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Please take a second to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on more amazing content.